All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Blaney. I am the VP of Product Marketing here at Wiiisdom, and I have some incredible news to share with all of you. And that is that we have released a new governance product for Microsoft Power BI. I am super excited to come to you live today from Washington, D.C., along with some of my colleagues who are at the Microsoft Power Platform Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, to tell you a little bit about our brand new product and to give you a preview of what it looks like. Just to kick it off, Wiiisdom Ops for Power BI automates data set and report testing, and it'll streamline your analytics governance workflow, basically taking your tested content and moving it into a new workspace so that way people know that yes, this has gone through a certain level of testing and vetting and is ready to go for decision making. Obviously, this is really, really important stuff. Why? Because we've all come across broken dashboards which stem from data sets that aren't quite, up to snuff. And obviously, addressing all of that can help to minimize risk exposure and build trust in analytics overall. So without further ado, why don't we rope in some of my colleagues who are, again, live at the Microsoft Power Platform Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, everyone. Hey, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can.
We can hear you.
All right. You can hear us. Dustin,
Awesome. Hey, we're here. We're out in Las Vegas.
We made it.
We got a special delivery. So, hey, crazy things happen in Las Vegas every day, and today is absolutely no different. We actually have a package that's been delivered right to the center floor of the Microsoft Power Platform
I can't
Conference.
believe it made it on time.
It made it, right? It's like Christmas morning in Vegas.
It's thank you to have Patrick.
Hey, everybody.
I this possible.
Can't wait to do this. Can't believe we're here live to do this, in front of everybody. So yeah, very exciting. Let's do this.
Yep. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we are going to reveal what is inside of this package right now. So there's some people watching. Everyone, hello, who's watching on the stream. Also, introduce yourself in the stream, too. Say hello and where you're coming from. All right, should we do it? All right, let's do it.
Drum roll, please.
3, 2,
Oh, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. There we go.
Awesome. Nice work. All right, so we have a brand new governance product for Power BI that we just unveiled. We just unwrapped the package. Some folks are getting the first look at it here. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to switch over and do a quick demo of this product to show you how you can test and deploy your Power BI content at scale. Let's take a look at the demo. Should we take a look at the demo?
We should absolutely take a look.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys. All right. Okay, switching over to demo mode. Can you hear me okay, guys?
We can hear you. We're good, Dustin.
Awesome. All right, let me just get the mic set here.
No worries. No worries.
What's that?
I said go ahead. No worries. Sorry.
Okay, so we are inside of this new tool that we just deployed. You just saw the banner drop, and we're going to show you how it works. So I am going to go into Windows Ops for Power BI, and I am going to show you how we can use this tool to test and deploy our Power BI content at scale. So if you're watching, if you're a BI manager, you manage a bunch of data sets, Power BI reports, and sometimes maybe you get caught by surprise. They're not always accurate. Sometimes there's some problems. Sometimes it comes back to bite you because your users detect this before you see it. We've got a solution for you where we can eliminate 100% of those instances. Now, what I'm going to do is show you what we have in our tool here that we call a testing pipeline. And I'm going to open this one up. And I mentioned, let's pretend for a second that I'm a BI manager, okay? And I've got a bunch of data sets. I've got a bunch of reports. And some of that data is sales data and sales reports. I'm going to show you how I can use a testing pipeline as I've built right here to make sure that it's accurate and continuously test for that, okay? Can you see what I have up on my screen, guys?
We can see it. Absolutely, Dustin.
Very cool. All right, so we have a testing pipeline right here, and what we can do in this pipeline is we can create some different types of testing steps, okay? So we have some different categories here. You see we have data set testing, we have report testing, and we have deployment. So data set testing is going to let me do tests on my data sets in Power BI. Report testing is going to let me do tests on my reports in Power BI. And then deployment is going to let me actually, after I run those tests, deploy my content, perhaps from test to prod. Now, I have a pipeline I've already built, and let me walk you through some of the steps that we have in it, okay? Again, the story here is I am a BI manager, and I manage a bunch of data, a bunch of reports, something I'm sure many of you can relate to. I've got a sales transaction data set and some sales reports that read from that data set. So what I have done is I have added a step to test on my data set first, right? And I'm going to walk through each of these. But the first thing I want to know, and Jeremy, tell me if this has ever happened to you, but I want to make sure that the data that's feeding my reports for today is current. I want to make sure that the dates that are in my sales data are today's date. If you're looking at a daily report and you don't have data from today, you're in big trouble. Jeremy, have you ever had that happen?
100%, 100%. I'm reading through some of these following steps here, which I know we'll get to in a second. Row counts, data set statistics, and so on and so forth. All of those tests are sort of meaningless if we haven't first confirmed that the data set has the latest and greatest data in there, right? So absolutely, this is the number one thing you test for is the data set refreshed to the point that I expect it to be refreshed. And then we can continue on with all this other stuff. So yes, 100%. I've been there, and a lot of our customers have been there as well.
Completely. And Jeremy mentioned row count. I've added a testing step in here. This is one of our, you can see right up here, we've got this row count testing step under data set testing. What I'm doing here now is I'm testing to make sure that I always have 1.1 million rows or more in my data. And the reason for that is because every day I know I'm going to have more than that row count. And if I don't, I know that all of my data is not there. I'm missing some data. We've all had missing data.
This was test number one that I would complete when I was building these curated data sets for people to use them for self-service analytics. I had a data model, and I knew the output of that data model was to be exactly 300,050 rows or something in that area, right?
Totally.
And I would do a quick test to validate if that row count was accurate. If it wasn't, then obviously something went wrong within my data model. And if it was accurate, then wonderful, great. I've at least achieved step number one. And now I'm going to go off and do additional things to make sure that that data set is right. And the reports, again, attached to it are right by extension.
100%. Another testing step type that we have is column statistics. And here with column statistics, this one right over here. What I can do is I can test to make sure that the values appearing in column in my data set are what I expected them to be. In this case, I'm making sure that my units column and my sales fact table, making sure that those number of units are never at 100 or more. And, practically speaking, if you've got a maximum order quantity, as a business rule, that's 99, you should never have anything 100 or above. If it is, it's probably garbage data. And so this flexibility allows you to actually set up customized rules to make sure that values in your columns adhere to those rules.
And the flexibility there, Dustin, is you're not just looking at one column, min, max, and all these other statistical properties. You can do that across multiple properties and multiple columns all at once, basically giving you confidence that that data set, at least with regards to its statistical properties, like we're showing here, is good to go. It's accurate. And again, by extension, those reports are accurate as well, right? So you're not looking at a single variable. In other words, you're looking across sort of that table. And in some of these steps, the data set and all of its tables as a whole.
Totally. And I just think of, you think of the user's perspective, right? Where they might be looking at a report. Maybe you've got a bar chart where, it's sorted highest to lowest values. Let's say you have a, value come in that's invalid. That's 2000. Your max should always be 100. Where does that pop? It pops right to the top, right? It's the first thing that all the users see it. Now, boom, that's out in front of the company. You're hearing about it second fact. So after the fact, now we can know about it ahead of time applying these rules.
Completely agree. Tell us what else. There's more. I see more.
There
Tell
is
us more.
more.
Dustin.
So the last step that we have under data set testing is our data set values testing step.
All
right. So for
this
this
my favorite.
one,
this is my favorite.
I love this one. I nerd out on. I've played around with this so much, and I love it. I know other people will too in the analytics community. But here, what we can do is we can make sure that certain values are either in or not in a column. And so again, going on my example of using a sales transactions data set here, what I'm doing is making sure that an invalid zip code does not appear in my zip column. You know, if it were to slip in, if an invalid zip, here I put 55555 in there, but if it was any other invalid zip that we want to set up a rule around, if sales associated with those invalid zips came in, what happens? Again, your sales numbers are off. And sometimes it only takes one small problem like that, right, to throw everything off.
Yeah, and the beauty of this, I just have to embellish this point again and again and again, is you're not just doing this for a single column or a single table. I mean, you can do this. I'm looking at the product here. You can do this across multiple tables and multiple columns and add in multiple value sets, either directly as you're doing here or sourced from a CSV or an Excel or something like that, giving you the confidence that, yep, this data set is good to go. It contains all of the values I'm looking for and nothing more.
Absolutely. Cool. So now let's say we ran all of these testing steps that were important to us to make sure our data was valid. What we can do is we can actually go ahead and right in our tool here, we can deploy a data set as well as a report into production. And all I've done here is just selected the data set that we were just doing the testing on. I'm going to select a report that I want to do a regression test on, and I'll touch on that in just a second. But this is the report that's going to be reading this data, and a target workspace. And what's going to happen is if my testing steps pass and we know that our data looks good, we can deploy the content and it will go to the target workspace. Now, what we have here is another favorite of mine here, regression test. And this one, we've got two different types of report testing here. One is this regression test same report that I've pulled in. I'm touch on this other one right at the tail end of the demo here. But what we're doing here is we are taking a snapshot in time. Every time we run this test, we're taking a snapshot of the report that we've selected right here. And so the first time that we run this test, we're going to take a baseline snapshot of this report. In this case, I've selected the sales revenue analysis. And then every time we run the test, we're going to make sure that no changes have occurred versus that baseline snapshot. Now, if changes do occur, we're going to see those highlighted in the report. And this step will fail. And I'll show you, like I said, right at the end of the demo, last thing, what that will look like. So we've tested our data. We've deployed it. After we've deployed it, we've tested our report to make sure that nothing changed in the visual appearance of the report. We now get down to the end here, and we always can configure through some of our ending steps here whether or not we want our report results emailed to us, sent via Slack, et cetera, depending on whether they succeed or fail. All right, cool. The other thing that I wanted to say was role level security. Very important to a lot of people. I know it has been to me in previous roles that I've had. Let's say, for example, you have overall sales reporting as well as sales role level security set up to do reporting at the sales rep level. Let's say you have sales reporting for Jack, Jill, Jane. They shouldn't be able to see each other's data. You can actually go down and click on Run As here, activate this, and you could actually run this testing pipeline as if you were any of those sales reps and make sure that Jane's data wasn't appearing in Jill's report, etc. So another powerful thing. I know role level security was always very important to me.
Show us some of these report outs, Dustin.
Let's see what these reports look like.
The impact of these integrated workflows look like.
Absolutely. So this is the testing pipeline I was just looking at. I'll click into it, and we always get reports on these tests once they've been completed. And the cool thing is you can see my data set testing step right here on row count. Just as an example, I can see that it passed. If you recall, I was testing to make sure it was over a certain size, and it indeed was. It exceeded 1.1 million. It's at 1.26 million. So you can get details on every step in that testing pipeline, and you'll get a log of all of the reports that you run on each testing pipeline. You also can schedule these testing pipelines. So you might say, do I have to go in, Dustin, and execute these, manually? No, you can actually schedule these right here. You can do a one-time schedule. You can do a recurring, however you want to set it up. The scheduling is all right there.
And that's powerful, right, Dustin? It's obviously important to run through a test as a part of the development process. I'm building something for the first time. I'm going to ship it off to my stakeholder. I want to make sure that the data set that everybody's connecting to or the report itself is good to go. But obviously, things go bump, right? Things happen upstream, column names change, data types change, things happen that cause issues to the data model and to the report by extension. And so setting up these tests to run on a recurring basis, nightly, weekly, at whatever cadence makes sense for this particular data set, that allows you to proactively discover those issues before your stakeholder does, right? And so now the schedule runs, the test fails, you receive a notification letting you know that that failure happened. Now you can reach out to your stakeholder and say, hey, listen, there's an issue with the data set, there's an issue with the report. I'm on top of it. We've been notified of it. We're working on a fix. It'll be resolved pretty quickly. That's the kind of stuff that inspires trust in these products, right? That's the kind of stuff that inspires trust and increases adoption by extension.
I think there is no question about that. I did want to touch on one final thing before we depart from the demo. I mentioned we have this report testing category, and I showed you how you can put the same report regression test into a testing pipeline. But I want to show you the power of a regression test on different reports. And so what this step is all about, before we take a look at it, is we can compare two reports. So rather than taking a baseline of the same report and doing tests against that baseline over and over, what we can do is we can actually take report A and compare it against report B. So different reports, one versus the other. All I've done in here is select the first one. You can see I've selected from the drop down there, selected the second one. And what we can get with this is a comparison between the two. I'm going to click on it right here, see the details. And if there's differences between those, we can get those highlighted. Now, this would be the same thing for the regression test on the same report. If there were changes to that same report we were doing testing on, we'd also get this red highlighting on any of those differences.
That's awesome. I think that is super great. I mean, I come from the world of analytics on the industry side. You do as well, Dustin.
Yep.
I'm sure your process was pretty similar to mine when it came to QC. I would print out one version. I print out another version. I would compare and contrast the two with my eyeballs. I would obviously catch some stuff. I would miss a lot of stuff. But my stakeholder wouldn't, and then it comes back to me saying, hey, why'd you miss this stuff? Mea culpa. All I can do is follow my sword at that time and sort of pray that it doesn't happen again. We're eliminating all of that with this regression testing capability available within Wiiisdom Ops for Power BI.
Totally. I would do so much eyeballing, Jeremy. It's not even funny. I mean, if I would have had this, I probably would have gotten a year or two of my life back, to be honest with you.
Well, I am super excited.
We have it now, though. That's the beauty of it. All of you can benefit from the pain that we went through.
You can have years to your life back, for sure, for sure. Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for walking us through this, Dustin, or for walking us through all of this, Dustin. I'm really excited for Wiiisdom Ops for Power BI to hit the street. Wiiisdom has been in business for more than 16 years, delivering these same capabilities to other technologies. Boy, oh boy, it's really exciting to do that same stuff for Power BI now. So if you're at the Microsoft Power Platform Conference in Las Vegas, come by, what is it, booth? I don't want to say it and miss.
Yeah. 323.
Come by booth 323. Dustin will be signing autographs all day and giving you demos of Wiiisdom Ops for Power BI.
We've got Patrick, who is a really big part of creating this, along with our engineering team. We've got all kinds of folks to come and talk to, sign autographs, take pictures. We're up for it.
and pick up some great swag too, right? We've got some pretty great Wiiisdom socks
I'll show
there.
You.
Let's show a pair of these. These are good.
We've got a stack of these on the table in front of me.
Flip it around. Show us the message. This is really what it's all about. Now, zoom in on the label, the white label. Yeah, but flip it. I don't care what it's made. Flip it around. There you go. I don't know that it's going to work. This clearly is not going to work. There's a beautiful message on the front of this thing. Here, I'll do it. I've got it there. There's a beautiful message on the front of this thing that says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and one bad dashboard to ruin it. That's what we're trying to do here, right? We're talking reports, not dashboards, but it's all the same. That's what we're trying to solve here by not just testing data sets and reports, by automating the testing around data sets and reports. That's how you prevent bad dashboards from hitting production. That's how you prevent the risks associated with bad dashboards and reports from manifesting your organization. That's how you restore trust in data and analytics and maximize the value of those investments that have been made over the past X amount of years. So anyways,
we've got plenty of stickers with that same saying on it too. We've got a bunch of stickers, actually, 5 or 6 different kinds. So you can get a sock, get these stickers. We're right here in 323, right across from the Microsoft booth. Can't miss us. We're right in the middle. The package has been opened.
I think that's it then. Why don't we call this live stream complete? Thanks so much to everybody for joining today. We're super excited that you took your time, took some time out of your day to learn about this new product. Reach out to us either by visiting www.wiiisdom.com or scanning a QR code. Don't we have a QR code? Maybe no QR code. There we go. Getting started right there. Scan that QR code, and we will be happy to talk to you about all this. But without further ado, let's kill the live stream. Dustin, have fun in Las Vegas. I'm gonna go have dinner. All right.
Yep. See you, everyone.
All right, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Of course, yes.